in the heart of Aerie, where Snowdon's jagged peak pierces the heavens and the river Glaslyn weaves silver threads through emerald valleys, lies the village of Beddgelert, a place where time seems to pause. Cobblestone streets with slate-roofed cottages, their chimneys trailing peat-scented smoke, while the air carries the faint song of waterfalls cascading from the mountains. Tourists pause to photograph a weathered stone marker by the river, its surface worn smooth by countless hands. Yet this humble monument holds a story that stirs the soul, a tale of unwavering loyalty, tragic misjudgment, and a grief that echoes through the ages. This is the legend of Gelert, the faithful hound whose name is etched into the very soil of Wales. The story unfolds in the 13th century during the reign of Llywelyn ap Iorwerth, known as Llywelyn the Great, Prince of Gwynedd, and a towering figure in Welsh history. From his stronghold at Castell y Bir, nestled in the shadow of Cadair Idris, Llywelyn ruled a land of rugged beauty and fierce independence, holding the Normans at bay while forging a unified Wales. A passionate hunter, he kept a retinue of dogs, sleek greyhounds, wiry terriers, and noble staghounds, each trained to track boar and deer through Aerie's misty forests. Among them, none was dearer than Gelert, a hound whose name meant brave in the old tongue. Gelert was no ordinary dog, taller than a man's waist, with a coat of burnished grey and eyes that gleamed like polished amber. He was a creature of both strength and grace. Tales told of his speed, outrunning stags across the slopes of Moyle Bog, and his courage, facing down wild boars without flinching. Yet it was his bond with Llywelyn that set him apart. The prince, hardened by war and politics, softened in Gelert's presence, sharing scraps of venison by the fire and speaking to him as one might a brother. He was Llywelyn's shadow, said Gwenfor Ellis, a Beddgelert historian. Where the prince went, Gelert followed, his loyalty a mirror of Gwyned's own. The tragedy began on a crisp autumn day in 1210, when Llywelyn set out to hunt in the forests above Beddgelert. His infant son, Owain, just a year old, remained in the care of nursemaids at a nearby hunting lodge, a sturdy hall of timber and stone overlooking the Glaslyn. Gelert, unusually restless, refused to join the hunt, his ears pricked as if sensing danger. Llywelyn, trusting the hound's instincts, left him to guard the lodge, patting his flank with a promise of rewards upon his return. Hours later, as the sun dipped behind Snowdon, Llywelyn rode back, his heart light with the day's chase. But as he neared the lodge, a chilling scene stopped him cold. The hall's door hung ajar, its interior in chaos, tables overturned, tapestries torn. Owain's cradle lay on its side, its blankets strewn across the floor, stained with dark smears. And there stood Gelert, his muzzle dripping with blood, his amber eyes meeting Llywelyn's with a steady gaze. Horror seized the prince. His mind conjured the worst. Gelert, his trusted companion, had turned savage, mauling his heir. Rage and grief drowned reason, and without a word, Llywelyn drew his sword, its blade flashing in the firelight. "Traitor!" he roared, and struck Gelert down. The hound fell with a soft whimper, his eyes never leaving his master's, as if pleading for understanding. The hall grew silent, save for Llywelyn's ragged breaths. Then a sound shattered the stillness, a child's cry, faint but unmistakable. Llywelyn stumbled to the cradle, tearing aside the blankets. There, nestled in a corner, was Owain unharmed, his cheeks flushed with life. Beside him, hidden by the wreckage, lay the corpse of a massive wolf, its fur matted with blood. its throat torn open by teeth that could only belong to Gelert. The Hound had not betrayed his master. He had saved his son, fighting to the death against a predator that had stalked the lodge. Llewellyn fell to his knees, his sword clattering to the floor. He cradled Gelert's body, his hands trembling as he stroked the hound's bloodied fur. The prince's cries echoed through the valley, a wail of anguish that locals swear still lingers in the wind. Overcome with guilt, Llewellyn carried Gelert to the riverbank, digging a grave with his own hands under the stars. He marked it with a slab of slate, vowing that the hound's sacrifice would never be forgotten. The site became known as Beddgelert, Gelert's grave, and the village grew around it, its name a testament to the hound's loyalty and the prince's regret. Is the legend true? Historians tread carefully. Llewellyn the Great, who ruled from 1195 to 1240, was a historical figure, his campaigns against the English and alliances with Welsh princes well documented. His court at Aberfraw and castles like Dol Wydlyn anchor him in Gwyned's history. Yet no contemporary records mention Gelert or the incident. And Owain ap Griffith, Llewellyn's heir, is a shadowy figure, his infancy obscured by time. Dr. Rhiannon Davies, a medievalist at Bangor University, suggests the tale may be apocryphal, possibly inspired by older Celtic myths of loyal animals or Christian parables of sacrifice. Dogs were revered in medieval Wales, she notes. They symbolized fidelity, a quality Llewellyn prized in his fight for Welsh unity. Some trace the story to the 18th century, when Beddgelert's innkeeper, David Pritchard, allegedly embellished or invented the tale to draw tourists to the village. Pritchard, a savvy entrepreneur, is said to have erected the stone marker, inscribing it with a poetic version of the story in English and Welsh. Similar tales exist globally, an Indian story of a mongoose saving a child, a Middle Eastern legend of a dog and a snake, suggesting a universal archetype. It's a folktale motif, said Dr. Ellen Rees, a folklorist at Aberystwyth University. But in Wales, it's uniquely ours, tied to Llewellyn's legacy and the land's spirit. Yet locals dismiss skepticism. The stone's real, the grief's real, said Gwynfor Ellis, whose family has lived in Beddgelert for centuries. You feel it by the river, a weight in the air. Gelert's here, whether he was Llewellyn's or not. Archaeological digs near the grave in the 1990s found no canine remains, but uncovered 13th century pottery, hinting at a settlement that could have hosted the tale's events. For the Welsh, the story's truth lies not in bones, but in its emotional resonance, a mirror for human fallibility and the bonds that endure beyond death. Beddgelert thrives on Gelert's legend, its streets alive with the hum of visitors drawn by Ariary's beauty and the tale's pull. The stone memorial, shaded by willows along the Glaslyn, is a pilgrimage site, its bilingual inscription weathered but clear. In memory of Gelert, the faithful hound, tourists leave flowers, dog treats, and handwritten notes, some scrawled with apologies to a hound long gone. I cried reading it, said Sheehan Evans, a visitor from Cardiff in 2024. It's not just a dog story, it's about trust and what happens when you break it. The village embraces its heritage. The Gelert's Grave Walk, a dog-friendly trail winding past the memorial to the foothills of Snowdon, draws hikers and pet owners, many bringing their dogs to pay homage. Local pubs, like the Princely Llewellyn, serve Gelert's ale, its label depicting a noble hound. Schoolchildren in Gwynedd learn the tale as part of Welsh history, reciting its lines in Cymreg with pride. It teaches us to think before we act, said Ellery Jones. and to love our dogs. The annual Serd Gelert, Gelert's Song, a July storytelling and poetry festival, brings the legend to life. By candlelight in the village hall, bards recount the tale, their voices weaving Llywelyn's grief with music from harps and fiddles. In 2023, a new poem, Why Sci-Fi the Faithful Dog, debuted. Its verses imagining Gelert's final thoughts as he guarded Owen. "It's our way of keeping him alive," said festival organizer Laurie Morgan. "Gelert's not just a story, he's family." In Carnarvon, a 2024 art installation featured a bronze hound sculpted by a local artist, its eyes fixed on Snowdon. Welsh musicians, like the band Gelert, draw on the legend in songs, their lyrics blending history with myth. Globally, the story inspires, appearing in children's books and documentaries. Its universal themes of love and regret transcending borders. Gelert's power lies in its simplicity, a dog, a prince, a moment of irreversible choice. For the Welsh, it's more than a cautionary tale. It's a reflection of their identity. "We're a people who fought to protect what's ours," said Gwenfor Ellis. Gelert's loyalty is our loyalty, to land, to language, to each other. The story also speaks to the Welsh reverence for animals. Rooted in Celtic traditions, where dogs were guardians of the soul, their spirits tied to the land's magic. In Eryri, where mists cling to ancient stones and the wind carries voices of the past, Gelert feels as real as the mountains. Folklorists see deeper layers. "Gelert is about justice," said Dr. Ellen Rees. Llywelyn's haste mirrors our own, judging without seeing, acting without knowing. His grief is our lesson. The tale also reflects Wales' history of loss, lands taken, freedoms curtailed, yet its endurance mirrors the nation's resilience. In 2025, a Beddgelert community project plans to restore the memorial site, adding a sculpture of Gelert and Owain, a testament to the story's living presence. Visitors do feel its weight. In 2024, a Canadian tourist, Michael Chen, left a dog collar at the grave, moved by his own pet's recent death. Gelert's story hit me hard. He posted on X, "It's about loving something so much you'd die for it, and the pain of getting it wrong." Locals nod at such sentiments, sharing their own tales of dogs who've saved lambs from foxes or guided hikers through blizzards. "Every dog in Eryri's a bit Gelert," said Laurie Morgan, smiling. As the sun sets over Snowdon, casting gold across the glassland bed, glows with a quiet reverence. The stone by the river stands sentinel, its story whispered in Welsh and English, in classrooms and pubs, in hearts that know the cost of love. Gelert's grave is more than a marker. It's a covenant, a promise that loyalty endures, even when misunderstood. In a world of noise and haste, the legend of Gelert offers a still point, a reminder that the truest bonds, whether between man and dog or heart and home, leave a legacy no blade can sever. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, like, subscribe, and comment below.